All right, we're gonna be closing up with part three of this UFC 263 post event review series. We're gonna be talking about Marvin Vettori versus Israel Adesanya. This one's gonna be a quick one. We know where Izzy's going after defeating Marvin Vettori, and we have a clue, a bit of a clue of where Marvin Vettori is gonna go. I think Marvin Vettori, heading into this fight, I think he bit off a little more than he could chew, but um, Izzy was coming off of that loss against Jan Blachowicz, and so they thought that they were going to be able to capitalize on that. You know, these two had already fought back in 2018, but um, you know, even if you have experience against Izzy, and in this situation, the champion, if you don't make improvements, you're not. And but you don't like one of my biggest gripes is that it showed that Marvin Vettori doesn't seem to be coachable. His coach Rafael Cordero was yelling at the top of his lungs, excuse me, for him to be first, and he just was letting Izzy tee off on him. So Izzy did what Izzy does. Um, I think Dana White made it official. Well, he said what he expected. It hasn't been announced yet. I don't think they have a date for the fight. But Izzy's getting Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker is the number one contender. He's his last loss is against Izzy, but that's at the end. That loss to Izzy came after fighting Yoel Romero twice. I mean, who fights Yoel Romero for 10 rounds and lives to talk about it? Like, I'd have to go back and look at Yoel Romero's record. We'll do that at a different time. But like 10 rounds with former Olympian silver medalist, the Cuban animal monster, whatever adjective you want to use. Yoel Romero is just a freak of nature. So for Robert Whitaker to go 10 rounds with him, yeah, that definitely showed Robert's medal. So Yoel Romero's not fighting out of Bellator, so that that division has been shaken up a bit. I know that Kelvin Gastelum just lost against Whitaker. Whitaker continued to cement himself as the number one contender. I think he was supposed to fight Paulo Costa, but Paulo Costa pulled out of the fight. Paulo Costa's a head case. He has not managed his career well since the loss to Izzy. He was going to be a big star, in my opinion, but Izzy ruined him. Literally. So he did some unspeakable things to him after the fight, but and he did something similar to Marvin Vettori. He breaks him. Bring up the main screen. I want to see the main screen. Izzy sometimes just plays with these guys, and he breaks them. We all know, if you're a fan of this sport, what Izzy did to back in Fight Island to Paulo Costa. And Paulo Costa has called out a fight since, and not directly linked. It's not because of that. It's just I think Costa can't get his map right, can't get his mind right. But definitely what Izzy did to him definitely doesn't help. But now Marvin Vettori seems to be on the same boat, a little more composed. But yeah, I think it was like in the 5th round. Yeah, he just flat out grabs his ass. Marvin Vettori shoots in for a takedown, and he's holding Izzy against the fence, which is not what it was being called to do. They were asking for the takedowns out in the open, just like Jan Blachowicz did, and was successful at against Izzy. But yeah, Marvin Vettori was not listening. He kept pressing Izzy against the cage, and Izzy did not have a difficult time defending those takedowns against the fence. You're using the fence as leverage and as a good base. So he was able to stay on his feet. He got taken down a couple times, and even at one point had his back taken by Vettori, but then he spun right around, and ended up on top of Vettori and starts choking Vettori. He's got his hands on his chest, and he's pressing down. And as he said, that you could see it in his eyes, in Vettori's eyes, that he broke him. He had taken all the wind out of his sails after he missed out on that choke. So that I did jump a little bit for that. I thought, man, maybe Vettori is gonna get him, because following this was the main event after Nate Diaz had almost taken out Leon Edwards, and after Moreno had taken out Figueiredo. So something was in the air, and I kept telling the people next to me, man, I think Vettori might get it, but he proved that he's not coachable. Again, he only had 8 weeks to prep for this fight, and I think he was going only on his experience of their first fight. But Izzy's made improvements. Vettori did not look like he's made any improvements. And again, he only had 8 weeks to prep for this fight. Really, that's 6 weeks because the last 2 weeks you're not really training. And then when you got all the COVID testing, long night. You've had all the COVID testing, so that definitely takes time out of your training camp. So I think he went in with a 6 week camp. His last fight was in April or May, April against Kevin Holland. He didn't have any time to prepare for Izzy. I think he was going only on his what day was that? April 10th. April 10th against Kevin Holland. So 6 weeks to prep for Izzy. In my opinion, Marvin Vettori proved that he's not coachable. Rafael Cordero was yelling on top of his lungs, "Be first, be first, be first." Nope. Let Izzy tee off on me. I'm Marvin Vettori. Let me have Izzy do whatever he wants to me. I'm pressing him. He's counter striking me. I'm not being first either in those exchanges to begin with. It's a disaster. He raised his hands. Did I show you that? This fool raised his hands at the end of the round. At the end of round 5, thinking he won. Like what? Whatever. But after the fight, he called out Paulo Costa. I wouldn't get my hopes up. I don't think Paulo Costa's gonna fight for a while. He's complaining about the Jake Paul payout. He's complaining about the Logan Paul payout. Like, man, you're not a fight. Dana White said it. You want to complain about them boys getting paid? Make a YouTube video. Become a YouTube star. Make a YouTube channel. Work really hard at it. Do it since you were 8 years old. Oh wait, you're not. You're a fighter, and you're not even showing up to work. You're complaining about money. Look at the terrible performance you had against Izzy. What are you talking about? It's like, I'm all in favor of the fighters getting what they want and what they deserve, but Paulo Costa's just making a fool out of himself at this point. The first cancellation he had was back in April when he canceled on Robert Whittaker. Pulled out of that fight. This man pulled out of the fight 2 months before the fight, I think, claiming he had the flu. Not even COVID. He wasn't even smart enough to call it COVID. I mean, it's not funny to joking about COVID. I had it myself and it wrecked me, and that's part of the reason why this podcast has been delayed. But like, the flu, bro, come on. We have a whole world pandemic. People are dying, and you want to say you got the flu? What do they say? When they say like the the wrapping is nice, but what's inside is empty. That man is built like a Greek god. Has the face of a model. Dumb. He's just a dumb person. This man has all the excuses after Izzy ruined him. Oh, I had cramps the night before. I was drunk. I got drunk on wine during the fight. I mean, before the night before, and I was still drunk the next day. First and foremost, I'm Mexican. We drink tequila like we drink water. This man said he got drunk on wine. You were a super athlete, but you got drunk off wine. I know you guys are watching this video. I know this is impossible, but let's pretend. Y'all smell that? Y'all smell that bullshit in the air? That's exactly what that is. Bullshit. But whatever, man. Izzy, I keep saying that Izzy ruined him, and I won't mention what he did, but Izzy was running around saying that during the media, his media scrums, Izzy was saying, Paulo Costa, he's my baby mama, and he's due this week. So y'all do the math. Then you'll be able to figure out what he did to him. I'm just gonna say it. Sorry for the language, but to say that Izzy fucked up Paulo Costa, that's a very, very precise description of what happened. But anyway, Paulo Costa's mouth keeps getting him in trouble. So he's pulled out of 2 fights. He pulled out of the Jared Cannonier fight, and Kelvin Gastelum stepped in for both fights. He stepped in for the Robert Whittaker fight, and he's now stepped in for the Jared Cannonier fight. So that's gonna be exciting. Jared Cannonier was and is a monster. He was stopped by Robert Whittaker though, but that's because he's Robert Whittaker, former champion. Again, he went 10 rounds with Yoel Romero. So You're gonna have to. Izzy stopped him, but I think it's because Robert Whitaker was burned out. So I'm definitely picking Robert Whitaker in that fight. Heading into the rematch. I think clear-headed Robert Whitaker is a problem. I mean, how could you not be? How could I be proven wrong? He was a champion, dominant champion. So, I think you know, heading into that fight, whenever that fight gets booked, I think Izzy's gonna try and get in Robert's head. I don't think it's gonna work. I think Robert's gonna get him because I'll tell you what Robert is: coachable. I don't know him from Adam. All I know about him is his fighting career. That man is coachable. Marvin Vettori, not coachable. Paulo Costa, airhead, not coachable. So, Robert Whitaker's going to make the necessary adjustments, in my opinion. They've said it multiple times. If based on Izzy's style, the way he leans back when he goes to counter strike, attack the body, attack the legs. Many media people have said it. Many MMA personalities have said it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Why are you aiming for the head? Marvin Vettori, why are you aiming for the head? Paulo Costa, why are you aiming for the head? You're not going to get Izzy. He's too well versed in the striking department. Go for the legs. Since the way, his body's positioned, go for the legs. Get the takedown. Get him down. Hold him down. I'm not a fighter, and I don't dare disrespect these men as far as their physical abilities. But come on, guys, get your mind right. I said it before. I remember when I went to my first jiu-jitsu class, and I tied somebody up with that triangle, that leg triangle. The guy was like, "Did you wrestle in high school?" No. And I'm not saying that to brag or anything, but it's just the point proven. The guy was asking me, "Did you wrestle in high school?" "Oh, you must have wrestled. Did you go to college?" "I didn't even go to college, fool. So how could I have wrestled in college?" It's like, "Oh no, I swear you wrestled in college." Whatever, man. He's saying this because I got him wrapped up. This guy's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. I've got him wrapped up with my legs, my big ass trunk like legs. So that was a brag. But yeah, like I told him, I said, "No, I just watched this on TV, man. Habib is doing this." So if a novice white belt on his first jiu-jitsu class can learn to use moves that he's from studying the game, what's wrong with these fighters not doing the same thing? Why are you not attacking the body? Why are you not shooting out in the open against Izzy? Clearly, when you just saw Jan Blachowicz, have great success with that. I think sometimes fighters get way into their head, and the greats learn how to stay calm. Look at Conor McGregor. Look at Izzy. We don't have to give many more examples of that. Two great strikers who know how to stay calm. So. This game is a dangerous game, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's affecting these guys' mind. But outside of that, going back to the rankings, I think if Paulo Costa decides to make it to this fight, you don't have to bring the rankings up. Oh, thank you though. Marvin Vettori versus Paulo Costa is next. Kelvin Gastelum versus Jared Cannonier has been booked because Costa pulled out. Kelvin Gastelum decided to step in again. Darren Till still injured, so he's going to be out with a broken clavicle. He's probably going to be out for a while longer. He'll probably come back at the end of 2021. And then Izzy versus Whitaker is coming. So we'll be breaking that fight down too whenever that fight gets announced and it's made official. We'll be discussing that in future events. Right now, we're looking forward to, the whatever might be coming for Nate Diaz. Because I think Leon Edwards is going to get Masvidal. And then the welterweight division will sort itself out. We're waiting, excited for what's coming for Brandon Moreno. But the cap of the excitement comes heading into UFC 264. Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier trilogy. No surprise. If you know me, hell, if you barely even know my name, you know who I'm going for in this fight. It's Conor McGregor Army all day. And anybody else has anything to say about it, I got some friends that love to give me crap about it. They got all in my face when Conor got knocked out. Man, I ain't told them, man, that was fake Conor. That Conor is not real. That Conor that got knocked out don't exist. No, I'll tell them, though, if y'all better hope Conor don't win. If Conor wins, you're gonna have to eat crow for the next 6 months. So, very excited for that fight. Picking Conor McGregor. I think he's gonna make the necessary adjustments. People think, oh, there's no way Conor can make the necessary adjustments in 6 months. He's Conor McGregor. He fought Floyd Mayweather too. You know, he got stopped by Floyd Mayweather in round 10th of 12. You can't make necessary adjustments. You're out of your mind. You can't win a striking battle against Dustin Poirier. No, some people like to go so hard against Conor because he's been so successful, but you got to appreciate what the man has done. You know, that man came from nothing. So no one has the right to disrespect him based on what he's accomplished because he's earned every bit of it. Everybody's just jealous because he gets more, but whatever. We're not going to go down that path. But you know, you may not like it, but you have to respect it. But at the end of the day, excited for that fight. Funny story, the guy, Sam, that I met at the bar, he was like, oh, I drove over here from Birmingham 2.5 hours away. You're coming back for the Conor fight, right? I'm like, what? Are you coming back? Can you even make it home, bro? You drunk as hell. You're about to fight somebody behind me. Like, nah, well, that's a story for another day. But yeah, crazy fan is inviting me back to the Battery. Will not be watching that fight at Battery. I will be watching that fight right here on my couch. We'll be reviewing it right after that, probably eating my nails. These nails about to be all 10 nails, thumbs included, are going to be chewed right off because I'm going to be nervous as hell. No caffeine for me on that day. My heart will surely explode. So excited for that fight. Like I said, we'll be reviewing that fight. Would be I think we're 30 days out, if not less now, by the time this drops. So we'll be reviewing, doing the review of the preview fight, and then get ready for all the hype, and then the post show, of course. So hope you guys enjoyed it. UFC 263 3-part series. As we continue to record these, we'll continue to make adjustments. We'll hopefully have some guests to discuss these fights, these results. I'll take any comments, questions, or concerns that are can be displayed down below. Thank you for everybody for listening. And if you don't like it, well, go suck an egg. We're MMA fans, we're sports fans, and we're here to talk about real shit, real life. That's why I call it a Let's Rant podcast, because we're going to rant about some shit. We're going to learn some cool things. I'm not married to any of my ideas, but I am very opinionative. So we'll see how this podcast evolves. Again, this is just a side project for me, but I am very passionate about it. So hopefully you guys get some enjoyment out of this, and thank you for tuning in.